We're touring the Baja Peninsula. This is our 10th Baja Raptor run. I think one of our best ones ever. One of my favorite things about coming down here is getting to show people that have never been here all about Baja. This group has 12 new people who have never been to Baja before, so to get to show them just all the things that Baja has to offer, like how dynamic it is and how much it changes from town to town and even mile to mile, it's always neat, and I really enjoy getting to do that. That's one of my favorite parts about bringing groups down here.
I think once I saw everybody and kind of like met everybody the first hour, I knew I was gonna have a good time, just because of the way everybody welcomes you. Everybody's very welcoming, very helpful.
It is wonderful how in this very short amount of time, all these people get together, become your new friends. I can tell already now there are some friends for life, without a shadow of a doubt. Some really good people. This place and these trucks, and therefore Trey and his crew bring together some amazing people to have some amazing fun.
The most exciting part is when we start driving, everybody starts talking on the radio, you know, cracking up and giving everybody different handles and stuff, and you start to learn who they are. And very fortunate that the whole group's been beautiful, great-hearted people, solid.
You know, your first time coming here, you really are pretty wide-eyed and have no idea kind of what to expect. And you know, you're in Mexico, you're a different country, and you feel like, you know, I don't know if this is safe, but when you get out to Baja and the way Trey takes care of you and his team, it feels just like another day in the United States, but yet you're in a totally different country.
I think a good testament to what we're doing down here is how many repeat customers we have. Like Will's on his 4th trip and Malcolm's on his 3rd, and we have a lot of people that come back multiple times because they just want to do it again. And you know, we provide a safe, controlled way to do Baja and make sure that everyone gets to have a good time without getting themselves in a situation that they may not be able to get out of. So you know, it's neat to get to have those customers that keep coming back, and you become really good friends with them too, because you get to share these wonderful experiences with them. This is a unique year for the Baja Raptor Run because it's not all just Raptors. This year we have 2 TRXs, a Tundra, and a new Bronco as well.
You don't have to have a Raptor to go on this. Eventually, it was all Raptors. What we've seen is a couple TRXs came on this. We had a Bronco this time. Everybody held up very well. You really don't have to have a much modified vehicle to come on this run. You just need to drive to your limits and to the capabilities of your vehicle, which you learn very quickly on the first day. If you feel out of control, then you probably are. Probably need to slow it down.
I don't have a Raptor. I hooked up with Trey and I messaged him, and he said other trucks can go if they can make it. So I called him up and set up a time to meet with him at his shop. They looked at the truck and excellent review. They were telling me what to do to it and what not to, and the suspension was very important, which I know now is probably even more important than anything else. So they put on a whole new suspension system, and it's done excellent.
Will Hawkins and David Davies. David asked me to come with them. They asked Trey if a TRX was allowed in the Raptor run, and he said it was okay. It was a perfect opportunity to test their new Ram TRX.
You know, the TRX, there's not a bunch of them. They're coming to Baja. There's not a lot of experience out here, so it's a great experience to see the TRX and the weight of it. And they're holding up well. The TRXs are on the road. They haven't broke down, but it's so much fun. And the Tundra, you know, we're all Tundra guys before we're Raptor guys, so it's super fun to be out here with the Tundra. You know, only thing I recommend is everyone make sure they send their truck to an off-road performance shop. You don't just bring stock Tundras, and don't bring just stock trucks. Have it looked over by someone, you know, such as Komal or Trey or Hudson prior to the trip to make sure, you know, you're going to make it through this trip, because it's hard to get back.
Now that the TRXs are out, the Raptors is always going to be a banter back and forth, but it's all in good fun. I mean, these are good people, good fun people. I think it's a lot more ability of the driver than the truck. I think all the trucks that are here can outperform most of the drivers in one way or another.
There's Raptors, there's those T-Rexes. We're the only Tundra. Each one is like their own custom home. You know, Malcolm's truck is just, you know, outrageous, and then you start going to some that are more stock, but when you start looking at them, they're not stock. I don't think it's the truck, it's just, you know, getting down here and stuff, but it's like you're running with the bulls, right? All these guys are all the bulls and stuff, you know, they're all alpha males and trying to show off their trucks and stuff. So no, we've done great, you know, being the only Tundra and probably the little boy here.
Even though we have a variety of vehicles this trip, it doesn't really matter. Like, everyone's having a whole bunch of fun, and you know, all the vehicles seem to have something they're better at than the other ones, and it's all about getting with old friends and meeting new friends and getting to see the wonderful Baja Peninsula.
I think the cars is just a tool to be able to come in this event and spend quality time with great people and great friends. Just a matter of preference, and I don't really believe one is better than the other one, although the TRX is way faster and more powerful.
So on the second day, we had an area of whoops, and a little different from the whoops that you see on maybe at Texana Ranch or track in the United States, because it's vast. The whoops last for 20, 30 minutes or longer. You really got to learn how to control your vehicle. It's a lot different than what you expect. A lot of rocks, the terrain changes very quickly.
The second day, my least favorite day, we went through the whoops and the sand. It's enjoyable up to a point, but after a while you say, I have enough of the whoops and I don't want to see any more whoops.
I don't want to talk about this, but we also have a Gen 3 Raptor on this trip, and I always said I'm never going to get one. I don't like them. And man, that's a really good truck. That Gen 3 Raptor is amazing. Like that, it's really capable, and I'm pretty jealous. I'm probably gonna have to order one as soon as I get home.
It's hard for me to keep from smiling how much better the Gen 3 is. So for you guys who have the Gen 2s, I'm telling you, if you can sell your Gen 2, buy a Gen 3.
I'm a little jealous of that because, you know, I ordered my truck 2 weeks after he ordered his, and he's had his for 6 months, so a little jealousy there. But no, it's super fun. I mean, he's got the only Gen 3 that's been out here with this group, and it is outperformed and overperformed more than we thought it would have. Super impressed with that truck. Ford's doing good things with it, and you're exactly right. That's a toy for Will. Will loves being off-road. He loves this Raptor run. He loves cars and trucks in general, so he's super impressed with it. He's all smiles, and you know, that's what makes this trip fun, is everyone smiling. No bad attitudes in Baja.
As you're going through them, I mean, your truck is going up and down, and it can bang pretty hard, and that's when you really kind of understand what your truck can do, because you feel like you're punishing it, but the truck just keeps saying, give me more.
One of the really neat things about these trips and what we're doing is, like, it's not just for guys and their Raptors. There's quite a few wives on this trip and girlfriends and children, and everyone gets a chance to have some fun. And we were in Frog Canyon, and everyone decided to let their wives drive, and you know, so they got to experience some off-road driving and a fairly technical part of the trip too. But it's always neat to get all these people down here and let them experience it with their friends and family too.
You know, all of a sudden that one day, and everybody, you know, co-drivers start driving, the women start to drive, they enjoyed it. I think, you know, it's a family event, you know, it's safe enough. You drive within your own limits and you can control everything else. If you do not, and you start getting out of those limits, you know, then that's where things go wrong. But, you know, it's really nice when you see the wives and the girlfriends that are coming along. I would assume it's bringing them even closer together, because in some of these situations, you know, you have to pay attention to exactly what they're telling you and to watch out and to do this. So no, it's been beautiful. I think, yeah, it's a whole family thing can come.
If you're a female and you're thinking that you're gonna come down here and the guys are just gonna be the ones driving, man, my wife, she takes some souls. She kicks butt, she drives really hard, and she makes some of the guys look bad. So if you're a female and you're coming down here and you're thinking, I don't wanna drive, it's safe, the guys will support you, and they will make things happen.
Sue,
My co-pilot, she had an absolute blast. I remember her driving and she was saying, "You just created a beast. You created a beast. I love this. I love this."
I am very lucky to be able to have my son with me. He works together with me, and because of that, he was able to take off time to come with me here and experience this amazing country and this amazing experience.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime trip, I think, for a father and a son, and I'd recommend it to all of them. Today's world, everyone's on their cell phones. Well, he has no cell phone, so, you know, we have to have a conversation in the car. We're going to sit there and say nothing. You know, he was all smiles this trip. He was smiles when I was driving. He smiles when he was driving, and he did well. Very impressed. Saw another whole side of him. The good, fun part is he likes to do what I do, so he's okay being away from home for a week and a half, and we can do this again next year.
Back in May of last year, we raffled off a couple spots for Baja trips, and one of the guys that won, he got married like last week, so this is kind of his honeymoon. Decided to give them a little surprise.
On the third day, we were in the Bay of Los Angeles, and we get to the hotel. Everybody's got a big smile on their face, and they found out on day one that it was our honeymoon. So we get to our room, we have the honeymoon suite.
Oh my goodness.
Ken and Ruben did just an amazing job making us feel loved. That's the biggest word I can say. It made it very special.
They had the room all decorated, and they were in the honeymoon suite, quote unquote, and it was, you know, it was a lot of fun for them. You could see where they were really taken care of outside of just being part of the group.
After dinner, we were called out to the parking lot for our driver's meeting to find out that one of our new friends, Hans, was going to do a toast, and they broke out the champagne. Well thought out toast for us. It brought tears to our eyes, you know. It was very touching.
They're wonderful people, super fun, seem genuinely good, solid people. It was fun to get to know them. So when I was asked if I could say a word or two for their honeymoon post, I didn't have to think about it too long. Wonderful, special time after your wedding, spending in the Baja with all of us. We're all very proud and very honored that we were good enough for your special time. So salute to that.
Likewise.
Thank you. We love you.
Yes. Thank you.
Cheers. Cheers. Any wife that'll go to Baja on an off-road tour for their honeymoon is a keeper, in my opinion. So congratulations to Tim and Jennifer for, you know, and I'm excited they got to spend their honeymoon down in Baja. One of the routes we take goes out by San Borja, and there's this big Vado that's kind of like perfect for getting a little airtime in a less than, like, not a race vehicle. You know, you can go down with a stalker truck and get some air, and it's fairly safe, although sometimes it gets out of hand. But, you know, it's a lot of fun, and this year was no different. Everyone got to experience a little airtime in a controlled environment. You know, some people still went a little too hot, but, you know, it's just part of it.
Some of those jumps are absolutely insane. I mean, it's like flying through the air. You have this wow moment and then oh moment all within 1 second.
My son was co-piloting, and he told me, that's a jump, that's a jump. So I kind of punched it almost at the end and made a nice jump. Very good landing, pretty safe. And the truck performed better than what I expected.
I told my son that I was going to do that part of the roads, but I knew how much David really wanted and was hoping that he was getting to drive when the jump came up. So he was very surprised that was the jump. And, you know, we kept maintained a good speed and got a good picture with the Bronco, and, you know, no accidents, no one getting hurt. You know, last year was pedal to the floor. It's only a one-time thing for me. Do not want the truck going home on a trailer. Everyone did well. I think Tim came the closest to hurting himself this year.
We hear, you know, you need to keep it about 45 miles an hour. We're coming down, we hit this G out. I think I was going 57, probably need to keep it a little lower. We got some big air. Camera crew running out of the way because he didn't know where my truck was going.
See, there's a downer on the tree right there. Tells people to slow down. Unfortunately, our group, they think that means push the gas pedal down.
Oh, it was awesome, man.
Yeah, we hit it about 50. we hit it about 50, and T-Rex just landed perfectly
like
low 4.
Like landing on a pillow.
Hit it going low 40s. Didn't know how the Bronco would perform. Smooth landing. It was fun.
Sure. Yeah. No, I thought it was the first one was the jump, and then when we realized it wasn't the first one, then we hit some more gas. So yeah. No, that felt good.
And Jaron was actually driving on the jump, and to my amazement, he got more air than I got in the first and second. I was really proud of that.
And I know I jumped probably too high that you couldn't see, you know, my truck, and you guys were, you know, the camera was too low, but no, it's beautiful.
You kind of have to keep that little bit of fear just to keep your confidence levels in check. It was really interesting to see, you know, Gen 1 Raptor, Gen 2 Raptor, TRX, Bronco. We got to see all sorts of stuff come over that hill, and I think everybody went big. Everybody made some air. Everybody made some good pictures. It was a lot of fun.
So in that area where we had the G out and the big jump, we had a chance to sit for a little bit, and it was absolutely gorgeous. We had a small cloud moving in with some drizzle soon after that. The Seguras, I believe their name, they were 175 to 200 years old. On one side it was very green, the other side your typical what you think of as the Baja Desert. Absolutely gorgeous.
So that section from Bay of LA to like Jesus Maria, where all the cactus are just huge, the big cactus and the boojum trees. It's really pretty. Like, it's one of the most picturesque. Like, when you think of Baja, that's what you think of, these giant cactus and driving these dirt roads in between them. And you know, it's definitely one of the prettiest spots on the peninsula.
Yellow flowers that are just starting to bloom in this time of year. And when you think of desert, everything you think of very dry and brown. But when you come in through Baja, it's green and yellow and bright colors and sunsets. It's just magical when you go through these big canyons.
For a moment, it looked like I was in a different planet. I've been around the world quite a bit, and I've never experienced vegetation like that or landscape like that. It was literally looked like if it was another planet. It was amazing.
The terrain changes, you know, it goes from sandy to rocky. You know, all of a sudden you hit the oasis and you have the palm trees and, you know, the ironwoods and stuff. So yeah, it's beautiful. It's sometimes I want to go fast the whole time, but you want to slow down because you miss so many things, you know. You know, as we're driving, they're saying, hey, there's goats on the, you know, on one side, or there's cows on another, or there's donkeys, and I missed the donkey, you know. We didn't see a lot of stuff because we were going, I guess, so fast, but oh my God, it changes within hours.
It is a very unique place. You go from a mountain range that's all desert through a forest of cacti. It is absolutely mind-blowing. You turn around the next turn and then it's all green, and yet the next turn it opens up to the sea. All of that in a relatively small peninsula is absolutely amazing.
You can't explain, you can't imagine. A picture doesn't do it justice as driving, you know, 100 miles through these amazing cactuses that just look like they kind of came out of a cartoon. You always think they're fake until you visit Baja. So you're going, hey, where are these things in the world? And they're here. You know, my son didn't even want to take a nap on that long highway ride. He was just so amazed by the landscape and the terrain and just how everything looks fake, but it's real. You know, there's one place to see it, and if you want to see it, you got to come to Baja.
The other fun thing about coming down here is there's so much history. You know, the Trail of Missions that spans the peninsula was established in the late 1600s, and we've visited 3 missions on this trip. We went to the one in San Ignacio, the one in Loreto, and then the one up in San Javier. And the San Javier one is just one of the prettiest because you drive this mountain road and there's just nothing. You come around the corner and then there's this mission with all these succulent trees, and it's just beautiful. Beautiful spot. I mean, it's really pretty, and it's, you know, super old, and everything's got a meaning. The way it's laid out, the way you look down upon it, you know, it has a cross.
So as soon as I went in there, I felt this peace inside of me, which is, I don't think I've ever experienced that before like that.
The history and the way you feel around the mission, it's incredible. It feels like it's 200 years behind us. We could have flying cars and these people will still be living this life. Like, it's surreal.
It is very impressive how they managed to build these missions. I do understand they build them where there was water, obviously. Coming from Germany, we have buildings that are from the 1200s and 900s. So yeah, it wasn't so much that the age, but more the appreciation of the simplicity of these missions. That the simplicity is so beautiful. That you can tell their main objective was to bring Christianity to this country.
You start looking at the history and you know, the Spanish that came over and what they you know, what they did with the local indigenous population. It's amazing what years they were built and them still standing, and the pride that the communities themselves take in to those missions and stuff. So beautiful. I wish I could see more of them.
There's these stickers that say no bad days, Baja, and they're everywhere. And it's kind of true, there is no bad days in Baja. Like a bad day in Baja is always typically better than a good day at home. And you know, you get a flat tire or something and a lot of people jump in to help. Part of it, like a group of friends, and there's always someone willing to jump in. And it doesn't take long, and usually a bad day turns into a really good story down the road.
Anytime somebody breaks down, everybody wants to help. Hey, well, I'll get my jack out and I'll get the impact out and I'll get, you know, I have an air compressor on my truck this year, and you know, everybody just wants to help. And you know, you can change a flat literally within minutes compared to if it's just you by yourself on the side of the highway in Texas, you know, jacking up your truck.
Knowing that if something happened, everybody's there to help you, everybody's waiting for you, nobody's leaving you behind. It's all part of the trip. You know, they're stopping and waiting and fixing and then going, and you know, and you get to see how these guys work on the trucks out there in the middle of nowhere. That's pretty impressive. And the knowledge of Hudson and Trey and Mark and all these guys when it comes to mechanics and the trucks themselves is pretty amazing.
I think this particular group, everyone did amazing together on sharing and helping and getting under each other's trucks, and you know, whether it's changing tires, taping up a fender. The most important thing in Baja is understanding that you're not out here alone.
Everybody jumps in, everybody helps. All of a sudden, there's tools coming from the right, and there's another set of hands coming from the left, just all jumping in. I mean, I had a flat, I think that was fixed within 3 or 4 minutes. Before I got my reserve tire off the bed, the other tire was already off, somebody was already throwing it under. They were faster changing the tire than I was getting the tire off the bed and the flat back on the bed. It was really cool. Very, very cool experience.
When something happens, everybody jumps in to help. And what I noticed was the person that it happened to, they weren't even really working on their own truck. Everybody else jumped in, you know, here, I got this, I got that, you know, let me go get my tire. He already ran out of tires, you know, let me go get mine. The jack wasn't working, you know, someone else went and got their other jack. Before you know it, I was looking, and the person's truck, the owner, was just sort of standing there, and everybody else is just working on the truck, you know, and that's beautiful. Especially if something happens to you internally, you're experiencing certain things, you know, fear, whatever you want to call it, you know, nervousness. You know, if something's going to happen, you don't have to worry. Everybody's going to be there.
When we saw the videos, we looked at all the videos before we came, you know, your YouTube videos, it was so perfect in so many ways that there was an assumption that some of it may be staged, right? Just to make the video look good. Coming here, I know it wasn't. I know everything you guys put out there was authentic and real. The people here are so heartwarming and so kind and so welcoming. I mean, you roll your window down and they all wave to you and they say hello to you. And they're not coming like in some Asian countries, like reaching with their hand out. There's some pride, there's some love and there's pride in them, which I thought was amazing. Out here in the Baja, people are just genuinely kind and genuinely sweet and genuinely friendly. And that was an amazing experience.
I love Mexican people. I'm from Colombia originally, so the Spanish culture is very similar, although Mexican people very extremely welcoming and very nice, and I love Mexico. I mean, this is my second time in Mexico right now, never in Baja, but it's been an amazing place.
Some of these kids and these families that have nothing, so it's nice to come through here. Nice that Trey is helping the communities as we go through these towns, and they're donating. They're asking locals what they need and what can be donated to the schools. So I think that goes just as far as us having fun on the trip, is us giving back in faith and goodwill.
So as you're coming through, you know, you're driving down these roads, and there's people's homes on the sides of the roads. We call them ranchos. That's kind of what as we slow down by their house, and they're waving at you. The economy is largely driven by a lot of the Baja racing and influence, and just like our groups that come through, and they understand that part of their economy comes from the tourism that comes through here. And so they're very friendly, and you know, I don't ever feel scared coming down here. I don't ever feel like I'm in danger. It's like I'm at home. really one of our favorite parts of Baja is when we're driving down, and then we call it a beach day. So we'll not to say we spend the whole day at the beach, but we spend a good portion of our time either on the Pacific Beach or the Sea of Cortez. And we get our tents out, and everybody's got their cocktails or the beers, and then we start making lunches. Some people have fire, and they're cooking tortillas and sausage, and it's just a day.
We stopped at this beach. We all back up to the water. It's so blue. It's amazing seeing the mountains come out of the water. There was actually cactus growing 2 inches from the water. Unreal. We had a chance to sit there and have lunch, and just a beautiful, relaxing day. After a hard drive of off-roading, it was good to sit and relax on the beach and kind of remind yourself that you're on vacation. You're on your honeymoon, You're gonna kick back and do some relaxing and do things you enjoy.
It's really fun to stop somewhere, which was in the beginning my biggest concern is, well, where are we gonna eat, how are we gonna eat? Became to be the most fun part about doing this, because everybody lines up, puts their tailgate down, everybody brings their food out, people walk around, hey, you want to buy this, you want to buy that. That was the fun part. It was almost like a picnic every day, a picnic with your best friends. I really enjoyed that.
If this is a bucket list for you, well, I have 4 or 5 buckets, maybe 6, 7, 8, and I just want to keep coming back every year. And every time I come, it's a different experience, because you have different people who have the same passion, but we're all friends.
Trey and his staff, from the first hour on, give you a sense of friendship, right? So it's not so much about, hey, we're guides, just follow us. Look it to the right, there's this beautiful plant. Look it to the left, there's this beautiful building. It's not like that. It's much more like you are driving with a friend that's been here before. It gives you a sense of friendship and a sense of community right out the gate. So it's not them and us clients, if you will. It is more like a bunch of guys hanging out together, having a good time. They are very approachable at any given time. I keep saying there's no dumb question. Ask away. I have learned so much from those guys, and that with 30 years of off-road experience under my belt. Still learned so much from those guys. How do I do that? Oh, just go here and go there, and if you do this, then that will happen. If you do this, then that will happen. Very cool how they do that. The staff, I don't see the staff as staff. I see the staff as part of the team, just the more knowledgeable part of the team. And I think they're doing an amazing job and letting us all feel included.
As long as you're not faint of the heart, and you like a little bit of thrill, and you like to, clench your handles in your truck every once in a while, this is the trip for you. I mean, it's a dangerous trip, but it's a safe trip. Trey does a good job explaining it. We do good calling out on the radios, but this is for people that want to go fast, that want to go slow. Again, not for the faint of heart, and if you're scared to scratch your truck, this is not the trip for you.
It's really not about driving our trucks fast out there, but it's about camaraderie, it's about bonding, it's about everybody getting to know each other. I mean, we have people with different cultures blending with other cultures, and then we're in Baja, which is another culture, and we're putting all that together. So it's not just driving Raptors fast, it's about getting to know people, it's about bonding, it's about more of a family, a group for these days. And at the end of the days, you really have made some friends and you've made some relationships that last forever.
I just wanted to say a huge thank you for everyone trusting me and my guys and my staff and my friends. I've always said I wouldn't do these trips if I didn't love coming to Baja and spending time down here. And it's always easier when it's with a group that's really fun to do it with. Brian eBay got the longest mile award. He's always willing to help everyone out. You gave up all your tires. So thank you very much. I appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
John came to my shop one day and said, hey, I want to come to the Baja Run. Can I come talk to you? I'm like, yeah, come on. So he came to the shop and came inside asking questions about what to do with his truck. I'm like, oh, you got a Tundra. Where's your Raptor? He's like, no, I just have the Tundra. And I'm like, all right, come on, bring it on. So, good job. Triangle, John. I was terrified when my buddy Christian decided to give a raffle for a Baja trip away. because I didn't know who was going to win it, because I was worried it was going to be someone I didn't want to win it or come on the trip. But I'm really glad y'all won it. I'm glad you got to spend your wedding honeymoon here. So congratulations on getting married, and thank you guys for spending your honeymoon with us. Thank you. Thank you. Herman, you may not realize this, but for the past 2 days, I've been doing a really good Herman accent, man. Thank you for coming. I really enjoyed getting to know you, and like, I appreciate it. Malcolm's come on 3 of my trips, and I hope from 2019 to now, like, you've seen the growth we've had in our trips, and I really appreciate you coming. He's come to my Texas events for I don't even know how long, so thank you guys for coming. Appreciate it. Junior said, hey, I'm gonna bring a Bronco. I said, that's cool, I've got one too. Let's put some bigger shocks on. He's like, no, I'm gonna sell it right after the trip. But that Bronco is badass. I'm pretty jealous. I do appreciate you always having a positive attitude and being part of the trip. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Danny has got to have had the least issues of anything. Like, we never had to look for Danny. We never had to open a hood. Like, Danny was always where he needed to be. I really am glad you guys come, and thank you for being a part of it. The longest bolt award, of course. Thank you for coming. Will has come to 4 Baja Raptor runs with 4 different trucks. His wife actually bought the first trip, and Will showed up in penny loafers and a Ferrari hat and a McLaren sweatshirt. I really appreciate you coming, Will. You've become a great friend, and thank you so much. And I hate you for making me want a Gen 3 so bad, so thank you. You won't regret it. But this thing wouldn't work without a great group of people. So huge thank you to Kenny and Ruben for running the highway truck. Ginormous thank you to Mark Noggle for helping us run this trip. This thing wouldn't run the way it would without you, and I always enjoy and appreciate you having on this trip. And absolutely last, but definitely not least, these 2 guys right here. These 2 guys right here. A lot of y'all came on this trip because you watched those videos, and I cannot thank Rada Media enough. So thank you guys.